Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about the most attractive men have mastered this. So when it comes to dating and when it comes to romance, the most attractive men have mastered the art of being able to let go and move on. Now this is a bit tricky because I feel like being able to let go and move on from a woman that's not interested is instinctual in men who have grown up, and even for women as well who are in the same boat, but they find it difficult to let go of a man, is that they've grown up in a household where their self-esteem was nurtured really well. And they felt mostly, even though everyone feels a bit insecure when they're a teenager, they felt mostly more secure than insecure when they was in their teenage years, or they was able to navigate that very, very well. And they had parents that guided them and mentors that guided them through that, trial by fire sort of era of everyone's life. But they came out into adulthood after these turbulent self-esteem issue years in the teenage years as an adult who did have self-esteem. Okay. And it's all because of the environment that they was in. There was no one to really belittle them too much. Because one of the worst things for someone growing up is to be in an environment, especially a home environment, because of course it happens at school. Everyone gets a little bit bullied at some level, even if it's just a few remarks here and there. But if a child has grown up in an environment as in their home with their main caregivers and siblings, if they've grown up in, or they're, whatever, if they've grown up in an environment where they've spent most of their time with those really important key people, and those people have belittled them or been mean to them, or at least a couple have, it creates much insecurity in that person. And so when they grow up and they've probably had even more insecure battles during their teenage years, when they've become an adult, they become a very insecure adult. Okay. And it's mostly because of the self-esteem just being either like beaten out of them or verbally beaten out of them in some shape or form. The self-esteem is just gone. And when they go out and date, and when they go out and meet women or men, if it's a woman who's had self-esteem issues her life, then they become insecure and they find it hard to let go. So why is it then that someone who's got low self-esteem finds it difficult to let go? Now, there was a book that I read ages ago, and there was a movie about it too, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Okay. And there's a quote in that book and in that movie that goes, "We accept the love we think we deserve." So that's why it's hard to let go of a woman who doesn't like you, because you feel like you deserve that rejection. On some level, that feels normal, right? Now, people who have grown up in a healthy environment where their self-esteem was nurtured and their confidence was built rather than destroyed and depleted, when they go out into the dating world, if they meet a woman, if it's a man, for example, and he meets a woman who he finds attractive, but she doesn't find him attractive, he's like, damn, that sucks. That does suck. But I want to be with someone that loves me. I want to be with someone that wants me, because that's what I know. I have that self-esteem and that self-respect to want that. And I deserve, remember, we accept the love we think we deserve. I deserve to find a woman who I really like and she really likes me. So I'm just going to let go of this woman. I'm probably not going to talk to her that much and, just move on with my life and not take it too seriously. And not take her too seriously. So the question is then, am I a lost cause then? Am I a lost cause if I grew up in an environment that wasn't healthy for me, that beaten the confidence and self-esteem out of me, whether physically or otherwise? What, am I just doomed then to just be crap with women or crap with men if you're a woman watching this? No, because I grew up in an environment like that. And I can promise you that you can find a woman that loves you, or if you're a woman watching this, you can find a man that loves you. And you can learn to let go of those people who you date who are not that interested, or people that you meet who you really like, but they don't like you in return. You can let go of them. But it's all about being aware of it. Because once I personally became aware of this knowledge, like, okay, if someone doesn't like me, because this was the thing that really I struggle with. If someone doesn't like me, I don't need to come up with a magic line to make them like me. I don't have to dress the right way. I don't have to look the right way. If they don't like me, there's not a lot I can do about it. The way that I came across that was when how basically the journey of how I started becoming a coach. And the journey was that I struggled with the many things that probably you're watching videos like this one, right? That's what I was doing. I was watching videos like this one from other YouTubers around that time. There was the popular ones around that time that I was watching were Dating Logic. It was like this guy that would like, there's like two chairs behind him, and he's a colored guy, and he's like talking about like someone would like sending a question, and they would answer that question within like 2 minutes, right? And then there was there was a woman called Marie Dubec. I don't know if she still uploads. And there's Corey Wayne, and I'm pretty sure he still uploads. Yeah, he definitely still uploads. I think I still see him a lot in my feed. So those are the ones that I was watching. And basically what I learned from those people was that if they're not into it, there's not a lot you can do. So you just got to let it go. And then it sort of dawned on me like, oh, okay. So instead of the most self-respecting thing I can do is to just, if it's not working out, to just simply let go of those women that I like. That's what I've got to do. Okay. But I wasn't aware of that before. I only became aware of it because of me searching for that knowledge and figuring out how I can actually make that woman more attracted to me. Because that's the way that I started off. You know, there was a woman who was sort of half in and half out with me, and I wanted to figure out a way to make her want me and want to be with me. And so, you know, I was looking up things from Marie Dubec, Dating Logic, and Corey Wayne, and they were saying like, look, if she's not into it, there's not a lot you can do. Just let her go. Go find a woman who is interested. And I was like, oh, it was like the light bulbs turned on in my head, and I was like, really? It was such obvious information, but for some reason it was like a blind spot. It was a knowledge gap. And it rooted from this insecurity of like, this is normal. It's normal to feel not wanted. It's normal to feel unlovable. It's normal to feel rejected. Because that was the way that I felt growing up. Okay, and many people, unfortunately, experience the same thing. And that's why they find it hard to let go of people, because they think that this is normal. They think that they have to fight for someone's love because you've been fighting for someone's love forever, ever since you were born. So that's why you may be doing that. But once you become aware of that and you fill in that knowledge gap like what I did, you learn that, okay, I've got to just focus on those people that do want me and develop this self-respect that I'm no longer going to settle for someone who doesn't want me. Okay, and I'm not going to try and convince them to be with me. I'm not going to try and get her to want me. I'm going to become a more attractive person by having the self-respect to walk away from those women who are not interested in me. Okay, but now that you understand why you may be behaving that way, you've got the keys now, because you've learned something about understanding yourself and why you may be the way that you are, and why you might find it hard to let go of women, because of that simple quote, we accept the love that we think we deserve. So if you find that you're always attracting women that are not into you, and you feel like you're always fighting for their affection, it's more than likely it's rooted into something where you felt like you had to do that as a child. Now, just a bit of a disclaimer here as well. This was nothing to do with my parents. It was actually to do with a much older sibling that I had, who was about 9 years older than me, who made my life hell during my childhood and my teenage years. So my parents were great, you know. And I have another sibling as well who was a couple of years older than me, who's amazing. We have a great bond. But if you just have one person in your life as a child who's making your life hell, especially if you live with them and you lived with them for a long time, it does affect your self-esteem. It does. And some people's self-esteem can even get knocked from just being bullied prolongedly from someone that they went to school with. So it doesn't always have to be with someone that you live with, but I feel like it's not, at least you can sort of escape school. You can't always escape your house, right? But of course it manifests in different ways. You know, some things affect people more than others. But from what I've seen, it's usually because there's like a main caregiver or someone in the household that is making that person's life hell and depleting their confidence and knocking it out of them. So if you feel like you're struggling with anything like this, then please go and seek some medical professional. I'm just a coach. I can only help you with your dating skills, okay, and attraction and those kinds of things. But if you feel like you're struggling with things that have happened in your past, then please go and speak to a professional about them. And if you feel like your self-esteem or your mood is, there's something not right, basically, then talk to a doctor about it too. You don't have to tell them your life story, but just tell them the way that you feel on a daily basis, and they might be able to help you with that. So that's just something I want to say because we've talked about some heavy things in this video, okay? And even if you're not sure, just go and talk to someone about it, right? Just go and say, do you think, you could even like chat GPT it or whatever, or grok it, right? Just, type in how you feel on a daily basis and ask if this is normal or if this needs some kind of intervention. Obviously, they can't give you a diagnosis and things like that, but it's just something that you might be able to do if you can't specifically afford anything right now or go afford to talk to someone. But you might be able to find actually that there might be some charities that maybe do this if you are struggling financially. But what the main point is just go and seek help, even if you're unsure, in some shape or form, to see if you may need extra help. Okay. But if you would like help with your dating life and maybe your marriage or your relationship, then you can go and read my book, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams, which is a dating book, but there's also sections in there about keeping the magical alive long term in a relationship and breakups and things like that, and how to navigate that when that happens, how to reattract someone who may have dumped you. But also as well, you can go and read this for free on my website, link in the description. Just go to www.christineloveridge.com and click on the menu on the website, and then go down to the book, and it'll take you straight there. You don't have to log in, you don't have to sign up. And if you'd like coaching with me, then again, go to www.christineloveridge.com. Again, link in the description, and just pick whichever coaching option works best for you at this current time. And I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye. Take care.